Yeah. What were you saying, Bob, on all this?
Well, we're just sitting around here, and we're just going to rap a little bit about the film.
Well, maybe we should say.
And we'll get into it. And when we get into it, the people out there will understand. They'll catch on, and we'll explain it as we go along.
Okay, but I think maybe we should say just exactly how it occurred to us to be here this way, without the director,
right?
Without the actors, and it's something which we know is not a part of the film, at least not as far as we know. But we were sitting around the other night, and in talking, a few of us, we realized that here is an open-ended film with no plot that we can see, with no end that we can see, and an action that we can't follow. We're all intelligent people. The obvious thing is to fill in the blanks, to create for each of our own selves a film that we understand. And if we try to think about the reasoning of the director for allowing us the opportunity to do this, giving us the circumstances that enable us to be able to sit here, we can only conclude, at least we did last night, that he wanted it like this.
Joe, why don't you cut? I'm holding
Now
it.
what?
No, we don't run two cameras, for God's
Because
sake.
you can't get it. All right, give me
He
a
can
tail
get it.
snipe.
Please, Steve, just let one person run it.
Give me a tail snipe then, please. Thank you.
Please.
Okay.
Now, let's just run one camera at a time.
Okay. Now the thing is, we were sitting
Pretty
around,
angle you can get.
and we were talking about this, and it just happened, just like that. Because there we were, and we were talking, there were like 5 of us, 5 of the members of the crew. That's all the people, all the people who are sitting here right now, are members of the crew. The director does not know that we are photographing, this scene. We're doing it on our own. And we were sitting there, and it occurred to us, while we were trying to figure out what the film was about, that we should be filming this.
Yeah, like he wants us to help him
Right,
make a
because
film.
we're
That's
really
obvious.
the only people who are in a position so far to be able to comment, about the film, because the director, Bill Greaves, he is so far into making the film that he has no perspective. And if you ask him, what is the film about, he just gives you some answer that's just vaguer than the question. I mean, it just is so vague that that it'd be better if you hadn't asked the question in the first place. And if you ask the actors what they think the film is about, all they can tell you is what they thought of the lines that they were reading. They're just plugged into just one line. So if there's a line like, "Come on, sport, give me a chance," some banal piece like that, they can say, "Well, I didn't think that line was good. I mean, I would have liked to, to have read it differently with a different line." So they really don't know what's happening either. Now, we've been working on this thing for like 4 days, and we've all been, more or less near where the action was taking place. So we are the only people who can really sort of function like a chorus, to figure out what we're actually doing here.
I think it's our obligation to function.
Well, I think that this point has been well established now. I think we're going to all
Right.
what we're going to do. Questions were asked to me this morning, as a matter of fact. I believe, Phil, you asked me something about what did I think about what was going to happen tonight? When we stood outside on the sidewalk by the truck, yeah. And I told you to save it till the night. You had some opinions. What were your opinions about Bill Greaves?
Well, number one, he doesn't know how to direct. He's into blocking. That's what he does. He sits around, he gives movement. After reading about something about what his film is based on, he's not doing anything which he has put down on paper. There's no communication between him and the actor.
Have you read the presentation plus the script?
Yes,
Oh, so you know more about what's in his mind than, say, I do.
maybe. Yes, from a technical point.
Have he talked with you?
No, he hasn't.
Well, what instead of looking at it this way, instead of commenting on the goodness or badness of Bill's direction, maybe it would be more useful to talk about how interesting the non-direction is. Because you see, it doesn't make any difference at this point whether Bill's direction is good or bad. Bill's direction has enabled us to sit here and talk like this, has compelled us even to be interested this way. And so it's really his non-direction that interests us.
Right, well, let's make one thing clear. I mean, before we go any further. I mean, this is a note, sort of to Bill, when you watch this, Bill, and to anybody else out there who may be watching it too, if he decides to put this into the film. we are not trying to take the film away from Bill Greaves.
No, but
You
just
know?
for 2
I
hours.
disagree.
Well, for 2 hours, all right, but he's got the choice to, you know, to edit this stuff any way he wants. So, so we're not, you know, it's not like we've got together to rape the director.
Right.
I
All right?
disagree.
You think we are doing that?
No, I think that the basic premise is wrong, because I think that a director's film is his mind photographing the world. And I think if you say that you're going to show him what's in his mind or what ought to be in his mind, then you're taking away a director's film from the director.
But he doesn't have to use any of this.
No, he
footage.
doesn't. He doesn't. But
You
to
see, and we're not
clarify
telling
the
him.
action.
But the word used was rape. The word used was rape. Not taking away rape.
Mickey, I think the thing in our minds is we wonder if the director knows what's in his own mind.
Yeah, we don't
I think
know.
we have to
All right.
allow him that privilege. Or I would say that if I were a director, I would
Well,
like
wait
to
a
be
minute,
allowed
that's
that
not-
privilege.
We are not trying to tell the director what's in his own mind. I think the director had this in mind. Don't you see? This is a movie where the director plays a different role, it seems to me, than in other movies. Here's a director who sets up a situation, brings a crew of people who can think, and doesn't tell them what's going to happen, and does exactly what Phil says. Well, let's just take that for what it is and say that it leads to our participation in it.
Right.
You know, that's
the
what it, and in this
situation
sense,
we
we're not raping Bill or telling him what's in his mind. We are doing our function in the film.
That's right.
Which
The
is
thing
what?
Which is to do
well,
what
the
we're
thing
doing.
is
This
that,
here.
that it must have taken, you know, some real great inner need, whether or not Bill is capable or cares to articulate it consciously. All right?
Right.
That nobody would come up with such a crazy idea for a film